Good morning, everybody. Myself, Jisaidulu, lecturer in Mechanical Engineering, QQ Gowd Polytechnic, Hyderabad. Today, I am going to dealing the subject Engineering Materials, and the topic is Introduction to Engineering Materials. Engineering Materials. So, what do you mean by engineering materials? The substances which are used in the field of engineering applications are called engineering materials. The materials which are using in the field of engineering applications, those are called engineering materials. Materials comprise a wide range of metals and non-metals. So actually these engineering materials broadly classified into two types, metals and non-metals. The first metal used by the man is copper, and the modern man is living in steel age. The majority of metals were discovered in 19th century. Actually, steel is produced in large quantities than all other metals. The steel production is an important index of industrial progress and the economic conditions of the country. That means actually the production of the steel indicates the economic conditions and industrial progress of any country. If the production of the steel is more, those countries economically good in condition. The various applications of engineering materials are as follows: manufacturing of machine tools, automobile and textile industries, locomotives or railway applications, marine applications, spacecrafts or aerospace applications, construction of bridges or civil applications, electrical and electronic applications, aluminum and copper utensils, etc. Here let us see some of the components made of different materials. So in figure 1 we can observe different types of uh, engineering material and different types of components which are produced by using casting process. So in this figure we can observe impellers and pump casings, flow control valves, etc. So these complicated components are we are going to producing casting process. In figure 2 we can observe some more components which were which are produced by forging method. So whatever the components we are going to using this forging process, so mainly used in automobile industry. Plastic things you can observe in household applications. We can use various type of plastic things, so we can use in household applications. In figure 4 we can observe different types of rubber components. So those are used in engineering applications such as leak proof applications, such as pneumatic and hydraulic cylinders and plungers and seals, etc., o-rings, etc. And in general applications we are going to using plastic chairs. And electronic and electrical applications also we are going to using different types of engineering materials. And in figure 7 plastic is used to hold different types of uh, goods or things. And in last picture you can observe the plastic material uh, such as decorative items such as flowers, etc. Objective of this class is uh, to identify the engineering materials and the classification of engineering materials, metals and non-metals, and the importance of engineering materials which we are going to using in mechanical process are industries. Now let us see classification of engineering materials. In universe, we are having different types of elements or materials. Those are organic and those are categorized into two categories: organic substances and inorganic substances. In organic substances, we have three types of materials are there. First one, gases, liquids and solids. So example for organic gases, uh, organic substances of gases are carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, and organic substances in the form of liquids, example for these are fuels, chemicals, oils, paints, etc. And the organic substances which are available in the form of solid form, example for those solid organic substances are polymers, natural resins, etc. Another category is inorganic substances. These inorganic substances further classified into inorganic gases and liquids, solids. The example for inorganic gases are chlorine, argon, helium, etc. And example for inorganic substance, liquid substances are acids, water, and bases, drugs, etc. And example for inorganic solid substances are metals, ceramics, composites, etc. So before going to using the engineering materials for the fabrication or manufacturing applications, first of all we have to extract the material from the earth crust. That process is called metallurgy. So how metallurgy can be defined? The metallurgy can be defined as the art and science of extraction of metals from their ores and subsequent combination of two or more metals to form an alloy. That means uh, from the earth crust we are going to extracting the materials in the form of ore. After extracting the material, so we are going to processing those ore in various processes to form metals and alloys, etc. So actually what do you mean by alloy is, alloy it is nothing but two or more combination of two or more metals in one should be an metal, one should be a metal. So when compared to the base materials, pure materials, are having good mechanical and physical properties. In order to enhance the mechanical properties, we are apart from pure metals are not suitable. So apart from pure metals, we are going to using uh, alloys. These alloys possesses properties which have the greatest value in engineering. The term metallurgy also includes the forming of metals and conferring the desired properties on the products by suitable heat treatment. That means actually by using heat treatment also we are going to producing some components. Here the term heat treatment means, so heating the base material up to certain degree centigrade, that means above the recrystallization temperature, and holding the materials at that particular temperature for certain time in order to uh, get the uniform temperature throughout the component, and then subsequently followed by cooling medium such as air, water, oil, etc. This process is called heat treatment process. Generally, this metallurgy is broadly divided into three categories: physical metallurgy, extraction or chemical metallurgy, and mechanical metallurgy. Physical metallurgy, let us see what do you mean by physical metallurgy. Physical metallurgy includes the study of properties of metals and alloys under various conditions, correlation of physical and chemical properties with the structure and chemical composition. That means in physical metallurgy, we are going to studying the physical properties and chemical structure of the materials. Next one is extraction metallurgy. In extraction metallurgy, we are going to considering the extraction of metals from their ores by using various raw materials. Next one is mechanical metallurgy. Mechanical metallurgy covers working and shape of the materials and alloys by casting, welding, forging, rolling, etc. That means by using mechanical metallurgy, we are going to processing the materials or raw materials by using casting, welding, forging, and rolling process. So we are going to considering the raw material, uh, converting the raw material into finished products. Now let us see what do you mean by engineering materials. Engineering materials are used in the fabrication of structures, making tools, durable goods comprise both organic and inorganic. That means by using organic and inorganic materials, so we are going to fabricating different types of structures, and we are going to making different types of cutting tools and other goods, whether it may be organic or by using organic or inorganic engineering materials. So here how we are going to define the engineering material. So the substances which are used in the field of engineering are called engineering materials. As I explained earlier, so how we are going to defining the engineering materials. The materials which are used in the field of application of engineering, so those type of materials are called engineering materials. So actually these engineering materials are broadly classified into two categories, metals and non-metals. Now let us see engineering material classification. So here engineering materials are broadly classified into metals and non-metals. Metals are further divided into two categories, ferrous materials, ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals. Here ferrous metals. What do you mean by ferrous metal? So how we are going to defining the ferrous metal? Ferrous metal can be defined as the material which doesn't which contains iron content. That means the metals which contains iron are called ferrous metals. Now how can we define the non-ferrous materials? The metals which does not contain iron content are called non-metals. The example for ferrous materials are steels, irons such as wrought iron, carbon steels, alloy steels, cast irons, etc. The example for non-ferrous materials are aluminum, copper, lead, tin, silver, zinc, etc. And coming into the non-metals category, so non-metals are divided and categorized into two categories: polymers or organic materials, next one ceramics. And polymers are converting into divided into two categories: thermosetting polymers and thermoplastics. Thermosetting plastics and thermoplastics. And what are the example for thermosetting plastics? Phenol formaldehyde or bakelite, polyesters, epoxy resins are comes under thermosetting polymers. And PVC, polyvinyl chloride, polyethylene, acrylic resins are comes under thermoplastics. Now let us see ceramics. Here refractories, abrasives, glass, cement and concrete are comes under ceramic non-metal categories. So now let us see uh, brief applications of familiar metals such as wrought iron, carbon steels, alloy steels, cast irons, etc. So here wrought iron. Let us see wrought iron. What do you mean by wrought iron? Actually, it is nothing but the purest form of iron, uh, purest form of iron, which contains 99% of iron. So these it is nothing but the purest form of iron. The applications of this wrought iron are for manufacturing crane hooks, chains, railway couplings, pipe fittings, boiler tubes, boiler plates, sheets, and bars, etc. In these applications we are going to using wrought iron. Now let us say carbon steels. So actually steel it is how we are. What do you mean by steel? It is nothing but a alloy of iron and carbon which contain carbon percentage up to 2%, and these steel have high strength and toughness. Based on the carbon content, we are going to having different types of carbon steels. Actually, based on the carbon content, we are going to categorizing the different types of carbon steels, such as low carbon steels, medium carbon steel, and high carbon steels. So based on the carbon percent, that means if the carbon percent lies in the range of 0.08 to 0.35%, those type of steels are called low carbon steels. And these low carbon applications of these low carbon steels are boiler plates, structural works, car bodies, screws, and nails. And what do you mean by medium carbon steel? Here medium carbon steel means carbon percentages lies in the range of 0.35 to 0.6%. Such type of steels are called medium carbon steels. Now let us see what are the applications of medium carbon steels. Medium carbon steels are used for making crane hooks, crankshafts, axles, connecting rods, and gears, etc. Last one. Now let us see what do you mean by high carbon steels. High carbon steel means here we are going to having the percentage of carbon lies 0.6 to 1.5%. Such type of steels are called high carbon steels. Now let us see applications of high carbon steels. These high carbon steels are used for making hammers, cutting tools, ball bearings, springs, and knives, etc. Next one is alloy steel. So here the properties, what do you mean by alloy steels? So in order to reduce the uh, properties of plain carbon steels, so steels are allying with other materials. So though such type of steels are called alloy steels. That means the properties of plain carbon steels are improved by alloying, and such steels are called alloy steels. Alloy steels are used for structural purpose, machine components such as gears, spindles, cams, etc., and cutting tools operating at higher temperature, and special applications where the corrosion and wear resistance are essential service requirements. So at that conditions we are going to using alloy steels. Now let us see cast iron. What do you mean by cast iron? Cast iron is also uh, it is an alloy of iron and carbon in which percentage of carbon will be more than 2%, and considerable amount of silicon is called cast iron. And when compared to steel, cast iron possesses high compressive strength and good damping capacity and resistance to wear. Due to these properties, so we are going to using cast iron, um, mainly different types of engineering applications such as brake drums, cylinder heads, machine tool beds, pulleys, and agriculture implements. So generally these cast iron material is having good compression strength and good damping capacity and resistance to wear. So because of its good damping capacity, so generally lathe beds and other machines beds are generally made up of cast iron. And now let us see what are the different types of non-ferrous materials. So example for non-ferrous materials are aluminum, copper, lead, silver, tin, zinc, etc. So here aluminum. So aluminum, it is the common material, so which we are going to observe in our daily life. So here what are the properties of aluminum? So here we can observe the properties like the specific gravity of the aluminum is less, and it has high thermal and electrical conductivity and good corrosion resistance, high malleability, and high ductility. Because of all these properties, so we are going to using in different applications. uh, because of its high thermal conductivity, we are going to using um, making cooking utensils, and because of its high electrical conductivity, so we are going to using manufacturing of electrical cables, and due to its good corrosion resistance, so we are going to using in chemical apparatus, and we are going to using this aluminum coating on different materials also. And because of its good ductility and malleability, we are going to converting into different shapes. So apart from all these properties and applications, the major application of aluminum and aluminum alloys are aircraft field. That means, so because of its low specific gravity and high strength, that means light in weight and good strength, so we are going to using these aluminum and aluminum alloys in aerospace applications mainly. And coming to another non-ferrous material is copper. So copper is one of the non-ferrous material, so which is having good excellent mechanical properties such as ductility, malleability, and corrosion resistance. Copper is an excellent conductor of both heat and electricity, and it can be easily for fabricated. We can machining easily, and we can join the copper parts by using soldering, brazing, and welding process easily. On the account of the thermal conductivity, copper is employed for locomotive, firebox plates, radiator elements, domestic boilers, cooking utensils, and kettles, etc. Due to its electrical conductivity, copper is universally adapted for electrical conductors, switchgear parts, telegraph, telephone wires, and cables. So because of its good thermal electrical conductivity, so we are going to using fabrication of uh, because of its good ductility, we are going to converting into very thin wires, which we are going to using in electrical cables. And now let us see uh, next one, lead. So here lead is a very soft material, so which we are going to using in soldering applications such as TV sets and mobile applications. In soldering applications, which we are going to using solder the TV sets and mobiles, etc. And next non-ferrous material is silver. Silver is somewhat costly material when compared to aluminum and copper, because of its, but it has good electrical conductivity. Because of its cost only, we are not using in electrical applications, only rare applications only we are going to using silver. Apart from these engineering applications, silver is mainly used for making ornaments. And next non-ferrous material is tin. Tin, it is nothing but a material which we are going to using to coat on metallic components, such as tins. In that tins we are going to storing some food items. uh, that means food storing tin is used to coat the food containing food containers. And the last one is zinc. So zinc is one of the non-ferrous material, so which we are going to mainly using in galvanizing application. Actually this galvanizing application means, so we are going to um, uh, coating the zinc over the metallic steel components in order to rust proof or oxidation. These are the main important applications of these uh, various types of ferrous and non-ferrous materials. Let us see what do you mean by metals. So here metal is an element that readily gives electrons to form positive ions, and it forms metallic bonds between the atoms. So here metals are two types: ferrous materials and non-ferrous metals. Ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals. So till now we have discussed the applications of ferrous and non-ferrous metals, such as applications of wrought iron, cast iron, carbon steels, alloy steels, and cast irons. When coming to applications of non-ferrous, such as non-ferrous materials such as aluminum, copper, lead, silver, tin, and zinc. Now come to non-metals. All materials other than metals are known as non-metals. So example for non-metals are plastics, polymers, ceramics, glass, polyesters, etc. These all are comes under non-metals. Apart from these, engineering materials are formed from elements and further classified into four groups. First one metals, second one ceramics, third one polymers, fourth one composites. Now let us see one by one. Metals. Metals possess metallic properties such as luster, opacity, conductivity, ductility. Example for metals are iron, copper, aluminum, zinc, etc., and their alloys. Next one is ceramics. Ceramic is a combination of one or more metals with a non-metallic element. Example for ceramics are metal oxides, carbides, nitrides, bromides, and silicates. Actually, these ceramics are mainly used for high temperature applications and furnaces. Apart from these applications, ceramics are used for making manufacturing of cutting tools, using which we are going to machining the very harder materials. Next category is polymers. Polymers are organic substances and derivatives of carbon and hydrogen. Example for polymers are polyesters, phenolics, polyethylene, nylon and rubber, etc. Last category is composites. Composite means combination of two or more materials has properties different from its constituents. So here unlimited potential for strength, corrosion resistance over pure metal. So why we are going for composite material? So here composites are combination of two or more materials. So why we are going to combine one or two or more materials in order to develop some potential strength of materials and other mechanical properties and corrosion resistance, uh, etc. So these are probably next century materials. Composites are probably next century materials. Next one, the important requirements of engineering materials. Importance or requirements of engineering materials. Engineering materials are required in manufacturing of engineering product. That means in order to make any one engineering component, compulsory we need to use engineering materials, whatever I have said in engineering materials classification. Engineering requirements of materials are fabrication requirements, service requirements and economic requirements. In order to fulfill these fabrication, service and economic requirements, we are going to using engineering materials. Next one is engineering materials uses. Engineering materials are used in various mechanical processes. So first one is casting process, forging process, welding process, plastic processes and machining processes. So here let us see one by one in detail. In casting process, that means in engineering materials are processed by using casting process. So in order to make certain complicated geometrical components. So what do you mean by casting? In this casting process, so raw material which we are going to using is get heated up to melting state, then that that molten material is stored in ladle. Then we are going to filling the mold cavity by using we are going to filling the mold cavity with molten material. So after the solidification of the molten metal, material will be get occupied what is the shape of the mold is there. After removing the sand from the cope and drag boxes, so we are going to take out the casted product, and after cutting the risers and risers, screw pins, gates, runners, all those things, so materials casting product will be manufactured. After casting is completed, any further operations are required, so we can done on conventional or uh, computer numerical control machineries in order to get accuracy and precision. Next one is forging process. In forging process, so actually what do you mean by forging process? Means in forging process we are going to heating the material above the plastic state, that means above the recrystallization temperature. At that temperature new grains will be formed, and after heating up above the recrystallization temperature, that material will be compressed or force will be applied on the material, hot material, so that it will be get converted into required shape, or whatever the mold is there, so it occupies the shape of the die cavity. After cooling the process, so material will final product will be manufactured. Next process is welding process. In the welding process, by using welding process, so we are going to joining two or more metallic components into a single component or a single structure. By welding process, so various type of components are get fabricated or joined together in order to fulfill our requirement. Next process is called plastic process. Plastics can be processed. Plastics also one of the engineering material. So how we are going to processing these plastics? What are the different types of plastic processing equipments? So plastics are processed in investment casting or blow molding, other plastic processing processes. So in blow molding, we are going to producing the closed containers such as cans and bottles, etc. So in investment casting, so we are going to producing small plastic things and bottle caps and toys, electronic components, and many other different types of components can be produced by injection molding. And last one is machining process. In machining process, what do you mean by machining? Machining, it is nothing but a operation. So by using removing the extra material from the workpiece by using cutting tool. So in this machining process, we are going to removing the excess material by means of a cutting tool, that may be single point cutting tool or milling cutter or drill bit, shaper, slaughter, planer, whatever it may be. By using uh, cutting tool, we are going to removing the excess material from the raw material. After removing the excess material, so raw material will be get converted into finished product. So here machining processes, so we have different types of machining processes based on type of machineries, machine tools or machineries. So here we have different types of conventional and unconventional machining processes based on the accuracy of the component required. So by using conventional machineries such as lathe machines, milling machines, shapers, slaughters, planers, these are used to limited precision. By using these conventional machineries, we can able to get somewhat accuracy, but higher for higher precision components, so we are going to using computerized numerical machines. Those are called CNC machines. By using CNC machines, we are going to getting good quality of the components and high precision with good tolerances with high precision and good surface finish we can attain. By using these all mechanical all machining processes, so engineering materials will be get converted into uh, finished components. Then we are going to using for assembly various types of machineries or automobiles. engineering materials uses. So these engineering materials used by various industries. So here plastic industries, polymers, polymer industries, ceramic industries, casting industries, forging industries, manufacturing industries. In all these industries, we are going to using engineering materials to for processing and making from raw material to finished components. Now let us see summary. In this class, we discussed and learned to identify engineering materials, classification of engineering materials, metals and non-metals, importance or requirement of engineering materials. Here, to identify the engineering materials, so what are the different types of engineering materials which comes under, what are the different types of ferrous materials, what are the different types of non-ferrous materials. We have discussed what are the applications of ferrous materials, what are the applications of non-ferrous materials, etc., and what is the classification of engineering materials, and metals and non-metals. So metals, we have different types of metals, and non-metals also we have different types of non-metals, and we have discussed all these metals applications, types of metals, those applications, and what are the different types of non-metals and what are the applications of those non-metals we have explained, we have learned in this class. And what are the importance of engineering materials, what are the requirements of the engineering materials, we have discussed in detail in this class. Now let us see multiple choice questions. The application, first one, the applications of engineering materials are: option A, automobiles; option B, electronics; option C, construction; option D, all of the above. The answer is all of the above. Why? Because engineering materials are used in automobile applications, electronic applications, and construction or civil applications, etc. Now let us see second question. Engineering materials are: option A, metals; option B, non-metals; option C, both A and B; option D, none of the above. The answer is C, both metals and non-metals comes under engineering materials. Now let us see some frequently asking questions. First question, write the classification of engineering materials. Second question, write the importance of engineering, various engineering materials used in industries. Third question, differentiate metals and non-metals. Now let us see some assignment questions. First one, write sum of engineering materials. For this question, you can write any type of engineering materials, whether it may be metals or non-metals, whether it may be ferrous materials or non-ferrous materials. You can write any some names of those materials. And second question, name some of the metals used in mechanical processes. Third question, identify the importance of various engineering materials. Last question, how the engineering materials are classified. In the classification of engineering materials, we have discussed the broad classification. First, these engineering materials are broadly divided into metals and non-metals, and under metals we are having ferrous metals and non-ferrous materials. Under the category of non-metals, we are having organic materials such as plastics, and another classification is ceramic materials. So here we are going to learn, we have learnt in this class what are the different types of engineering materials, what are the applications of engineering materials, where in which application we are, in which industries we are going to using these engineering materials. We have learnt till now. So thank you.